Hey, how you doing? My name is Stephen Olivo, the host of BXB podcast, the Entrepreneur Collection. Today I have George Jean. He's one of the top entrepreneurs that I know. Does so many different great things. And he not only does stuff in the States, he takes himself to Dominican Republic and other countries and helps people and trains people how to be successful. But, George, I'm gonna allow you to go ahead and let people know who you are, man. Let the world know what's coming and all of the new great things you're working on, and even partnering with other people on, right? George, go ahead, man. Tell your story.
Hey, first of all, man, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much, my brother. You know what I mean, for inviting me to come to your platform. I'm very grateful for that. I do not take that lightly. I mean, our friendship goes back over a decade, man, and
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm so proud of you as well, my brother, because
Thank you.
you motivate me. I don't know if you know that. You know what I'm saying? You motivate me because
Yes.
you're always on the next level. You're always doing something new
Gotta
and
keep it
something,
moving, man. Yeah.
moving. Exactly. So I got to keep up with you, man. That's why that's why I am who I am. I keep up with you. So
Awesome.
just to let your audience know who I am, of course, as you mentioned, my name is George Dennis. Who am I? I am I'm someone I tell people all the time that was born at a very early age. All right. So what does that mean? So I always feel like myself. I've been around for for so long because I have done so much and helped so many people along the way. When it comes to the finance, when it comes to being able to be an entrepreneur, myself so far, I've been in entrepreneurship since I would say, man, since I was about 18 to 19. My first tap into the entrepreneurship was being in the music industry. During the era of time of the Cash Money was coming out, the Juvenile, those guys. So I was the juvenile on my group, right? My my club that we had, you know what I'm saying? The little group that we had. I was a juvenile. Not only did I look like him, not only did I had the grill, I had all that. So we was in the music industry. We did that for many years, just mostly on the state level, not really got international, but we did a lot of things as far as in the state level, the state of Florida. So we're able to do some incredible things with that in the music industry. Then I got into the real estate industry. Then of course, and I got into more being like, you know what? Let me just be my own boss and be my own entrepreneur, where I could call the shot, where I could wake up the time that I want, travel the time that I want, instead of having a boss, to tell you, hey, you go to lunch at this time, you go to sleep at this time, you do this, you do that. So I wanted to be a part of that, and when I got into it, of course, I'm not gonna sit here and tell about it. Yo, being an entrepreneur is the most beautiful thing. You got to quit your job today and start it. If someone tells you that, yo, they are lying to you. Being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, which means that it takes a lot. But keep this in mind: it takes a lot for a short period of time, right? But on the long run, it's gonna pay it off, and it's going to pay it off because the time that I have been able to spend with family, time that I've been able to help family travel, as you mentioned, DR is one of my favorite places because, of course, I'm from the West Indies. I'm from Haiti, so that country I love to go back and forth in that country. So it allows you to travel to also help those people in need that cannot have access to the resources that you have. That's
Exactly.
one. But when it also comes down to it, what I learned is that for a lot of people that's working, I mean, I'm not here to, not 9 to 5. I will never do that. Okay. Because as far as I just don't like the people, I dislike the people that only have a 9 to 5 and they only put their head there because if that 95 stopped today, and right now, report has said that the average American are living about 2 to 3 paycheck away from being
Yeah.
lose everything,
Yeah.
done. You know what I'm saying? Homeless, everything that you could think of because they only focus on that one job that they have because they are living paycheck to paycheck. But being an entrepreneur, which means that you still could have that 95, but also allow yourself to invest in other ventures that it may not pay you in full profit the first year, the second year, but as long as you keep doing that process, you will be able to, to flourish from it. Because at the end of the day, one thing that I learned being an entrepreneur is leverage, leverages leverage time because
Yeah.
even though you and I, we're not someone that basically one thing that we can never the 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 most powerful commodity in this world is time. Okay, that
A
is the
hundred
greatest
percent,
commodity.
100%.
So there's
I
so many
sold
things
cars
that we.
and I wasted a lot of time selling cars. And when I stopped, I just saw the growth just happen like this. And it was like the value just kicked in. And it was like, what? So the whole time I was wasting my time pushing these cars. I used to sell a lot of cars, but you're right. Like if you value your time, that's everything. You know, that's more valuable than any dollar you can put on it because you make your time worth what it's worth. And it's up to you to do that, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Exactly. No, 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 no. That's the perfect thing because as far as for most people that think about it, most people that like, let's talk about it. On selling cars. It depends what type of car. The same person that put in the same type of hours because car dealerships sometimes they work 12-hour shift. But if you go and sell a car uh uh a Rolls Royce compared to selling for Honda, with one sale could make what someone that's selling a Honda make it in a whole entire year.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference. That's the leverage of time that I've learned over the years that it is priceless to me because I leverage my time. The same amount of time that it will take me to talk to someone about a project that's going to be like I can make a profit of 10,000. It would be the same type of time that it would take me for me to profit of 100,000 on that project or
Yeah.
$1 million on that project. So that's what I learned. I learned to leverage and I learned to talk to the right people. That's one thing keynote guys. I'm giving some of the entrepreneurs some germs here. Talk
Yeah.
to the right people. See, some people say, man, I like to talk to the needy instead of talking to the greedy. But why not go talk to the person that's the greedy? Because that person himself, he has a mindset that he wants to get to the next level in his life already. They may not have the resources at that time, but they want to get to the next level in their life. The worst thing as an entrepreneur is to talk to the person that basically that spiritually and mentally and financially is dead inside. You cannot revive that person. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how many times you shock them. You know what I'm saying? Because you could feel the energy, and sometimes it's okay to come back to that person. I'm not saying just leave them alone totally because
No, not at
everybody
all.
everybody has life hits them every 90 days. Something will happen in someone's life. That's why I always, even when I'm presenting an opportunity to someone, if I talk to them today and they say, you know what, nah, I'm not interested or whatever, I say, okay, that's fine. I reach out to them at least 30 days, not 60 days, 90 days, because everyone in life, something will happen to all of us drastically in 90 days. It could be for good, it could be for bad. So if someone at the stage that they are is only 90 days away from having a breakthrough in their lives, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's only 90 days away. And if that person get a time in their mind to stay focused, that's the key word, focus, to stay focused for 90 days. Just focus on something for 90 days. Then after that, you'll see it flourish. So I know I said a mouthful because man, I'm excited when I get to talk to an entrepreneur like yourself because you
So am I,
understand
man. So am I.
you understand the mindset that you have to be because it's almost like being an entrepreneur almost like you have to be so laser focused. I'm saying you have to be so laser focused because there's a lot of things that always happens and sometimes people think most entrepreneur they become like a robot, but it's not that. It's just because that you have to be laser focused if you want to get to the next level in your life for the next 90 days. So which means that this letting the wife knows, let the kids know, guys, I'm starting this project right now. I need 90 days. And I promise you guys, wherever that you want to go, whatever that you want to do, whatever that we want to spend, we'll be able to travel to wherever that you want to go. So make those promises to the family first, because sometimes when they see you distance yourself like that from them, they think, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Daddy doesn't
This
love
is
me no
more
more.
important or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
this is more important. Hubby don't love me no more. This is more important. No, it's not that. It's just that being the entrepreneur because you know that you are the one that bringing the check. Without you being focused, you're not able to do that. So
Yep.
that's what it's about. So
And
I
let me
mean,
ask, like, look,
yes, go
like,
ahead.
so you're doing a lot of great things. Now, give people some insight on the fact of like what businesses right now that you have, basically they run themselves, but also what other things you're doing, right? But let's start with your businesses because I know you do credit repair, you do a
Right,
few other great things as well.
right.
So it's like just put it out there, right? Because I will tell you this, I am
Right.
going to put your QR code for your page where you have all of your different businesses that you have. And so that people can
Awesome.
go and, potentially, maybe you grab some clients from here or just somebody to talk to you and get some type of guidance from you. All right, go
Most
ahead, man.
definitely, and I appreciate that. Well,
Yeah,
first of all, that goes back to 2016 when I actually got into the whole commodity, into a whole platform of commodity trading and doing certain things in that level. When I got into it, also what I was running into, a lot of the people that I would talk to, as I mentioned earlier, they did not have the capital for them to invest into those platforms. So during that same time, I believe you and I we got reconnected, and you introduced me into the whole part of the finance part that allows people to get you know to get loans, to get finance, to get money, the capital that they need.
yeah,
So at that time, I'm like, man, this is powerful. But again, boom, we went into another blackish because those same type of people that will come to me, they say, man, I could use a loan right now. I could do this so I could flip my money and put it into the platform that you have so I could, multiply it.
yeah.
But again, their credit was bad. I'm like, what do you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I'm like, okay, so it's just doing that time. See, this is how I believe in. Whenever that you start something, the universe will also bring people into your life to help you along the way if you put it out there like that. So doing that same time, another friend of mine that I know for many years, she reached out to me. She said, "Man, I'm starting my own," because she was already in the process of that. She said, "I'm starting my own credit repair company, but it's not like any of the things that all these other companies that's charging people all these millions, thousands of
yeah,
dollars to do. And at the end of the day, people are fed up with that. They upset and they don't get no result. Her system actually works, and it teaches the people not only that it works, but it also it's like it's a university that teaches the people how. Because it's one thing that you could get your credit repair, but what do you do after that? How do you build the credit? You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Most people don't know that. So this process shows that and teaches people how to do all those things. So we're like, okay, so when someone comes to us now, not only now we could help them in the finance part, right? For them to get the money. And we can also show them how to invest the money. And if their credit is not good, okay, we can also show them how to repair the credit so they could get those business credit. They could get all those things. So those all come together. That's some of the things that we're also a part of. And doing this whole process, I'm still searching. I'm someone I think, I think it was Jim Rohn or Robert Kiyosaki, one of those guys that said that, the day you stop learning is the day that you're dead. So
yeah.
each
You
and
got to
every
learn
day,
every
daily,
day.
every day. So
I
I'm
teach my
learning
kids
something
that you got
new,
to learn at least one thing, something every
one
day.
thing
Yep.
every day. So daily, I always try myself to learn something new along the way. So and I take that as a challenge. I take it as a challenge to learn something new. So doing the process. So now we're in the credit repair. We're doing all this, helping people, get the loans that they need, businesses that's about to, people that are about to lose their business. And you and I, of course, we have several business owners
Yeah.
to earn a credit of which not some of them they didn't even know that that was even available to them because they go to the bank and the bank deny them. They say, "Oh, you have enough resources, you don't make enough income," and they don't know that after they go to their bank and the bank does that, that they feel like there's no other options.
Yep.
Well, there is
We
other
get that a
options,
lot, right?
a lot.
Oh, my
We
bank
get it a
didn't do
lot.
it. Nobody can. No, that's not it at
Nobody
all.
can. No, that's not it at all. You see what I'm saying? So we present those resources because at the end of the day, we are in the business of helping people, people
Yep.
helping people. That's what we do. You see what I'm saying? And I'm grateful, happy and grateful that I've been able to do that and I've been able to help so many people along the way. So that brings me to this other part because another part that people, okay, now we're helping people with their finance and everything. But one thing is, what is more important than financing is your health.
Yeah.
Because you can
Yeah.
have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the best health for you to help yourself, uh, it make no sense. Because the second most important commodity, of course, is your health.
Yeah.
Because you got to be able to be healthy, and for you to be able to, uh, God forbid, you have kids and so forth, and you're not able to be out there, be active with them. So, this project,
I
another project
honestly,
that's
I
really
thought
important.
that this here was when you told me about this, I thought this was a great idea too, right?
Well,
And It,
This
it
is
honestly, and then even our little conversation we had before this, like
yeah,
to tell me that somebody that's handicapped could also take advantage of this,
bro.
it's
It's mind
it's
blowing.
yo, for real, it's like something that it's a no-brainer for anybody to take advantage of this because one, it's free, right?
Yes,
In a sense, it's free, right? It's a small
right.
fee. I think it was like $20 or something like that to just
Exactly.
get it
Right.
started, right? And but still, it's you're making money doing your regular day stuff,
That,
right?
that
And
that's what that's what I saw 2 years ago. Keep this in mind. This was brought up to my attention 2 years ago from a business partner of mine that we've done other businesses before. He also connected with the owner of the company, and she had that idea. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, yeah. Imagine each and every one of us nowadays have a cell phone, and most of us, of course, that's trying to get a little bit healthy in our life. We have Google Fit, or we have
yeah, Nitbit
health
or what a
on
Pitbit or whatever
iPhone,
it's called.
exactly, Fitbit and all that on our phone to calculate, our steps, our calories, our heart rate, and all these. Especially some of us also have the watch and so forth, right? So imagine each and every day activity that you're doing now you're not able to get paid nothing for it. But this resource, this new technology, which is incredible, it allows you to get paid from each and every day activity. Now I'm gonna tell our age, you know what I'm saying? Because back in the days when we used to be active. Nowadays, this new generation of parents or
Yeah,
whatever, I don't know what they're doing because when I used to come home from school, first thing that I do, you know what I'm saying? Take off the school clothes. You got to take that off. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Find a little something to eat, do your homework. Then after that, for the rest of the day, we outside.
Be outside. Mom calling us from the window. Come
But look,
upstairs. It's getting
hey,
dark.
you know what I'm saying? That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you can't even get the kids outside. And and it's not the kids' fault. Keep that in mind. It's the parents' fault because along the way, we lost that. We thought that when our parents was doing that for us, when they would allow us to be outside, play, whatever sport that we playing, that was the most best time of our lives. Because I
Yeah.
look back at some of those times, I still have friendship with some of those guys. They used to live in
Me
the
too.
same building as I live, and we able to, I mean, to do so many things and stay active. Nowadays, most kids from the age of 10, to 15 are obese. And you tell me why? Because they staying in the house all the time. They playing games and all this and that, and they're not active to do so. So this is the way also, because in this project, there's no age limit. So you the same child that you have that stays in the house all the time and also probably asking you for money all the time, you could tell him, son, hey, I could
Start
put this
earning.
on you and you could go out here, just be active. Just go, put just be with some other kids your age.
Literally your allowance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you allow them to do that. And we helping this project, man. I'm so proud of it because it's not only for the health part, but he also we have some of our business partners, which we deal with a lot of pastors and that's from all over the country. We have a bishop right now that's in Nigeria. No, I'm sorry, he's in Ghana. He lives in Ghana, but we have another one in Nigeria. He's able to doing fundraising for his church using this project here. When everybody comes and they connect to the process and they're able to walk like you're doing let's walk for
Regular day.
whatever that you want to walk for a regular day and they connect to it and they're able to receive they could cash it out right away, receive the funds
Man,
from that activity and cash it out
that's
and do the
brilliant.
fundraising. So uh,
That's brilliant
I,
because now you're not like you're at the church. People are gonna tithe. They don't have to tithe with their own money. They can
money,
tithe with the money that they've earned, allowing them to walk every day and move every day.
thank you,
It's like you
boom. You see what I'm saying? So there's no excuses. You
and what
cannot make any
make
excuses.
sure you elaborate on how the money's made and what it's being made
Okay,
into
let
because
me put it like this.
digital currency
Just
is the new world, so people need to
exactly.
know.
Well, exactly. So just imagine this, guys. For those people that know and have learned about digital currency, and people that's new about digital, I'm just going to give you a brief information about it. digital currency back in the days when it first started in 1996. I mean, everybody knows about Bitcoin, which is the father of the whole entire crypto. So to mine Bitcoin at that time, you had to have a big warehouse with big old computers that run 24 hours. Okay. But some other guys, like I know a few guys in the early 2000s, what they did, they actually purchased this mining machine. And I'm looking at one of those guys right now too.
Yeah.
They had some of those money, those say mining machines that actually allowed them to, mining Bitcoin, which was a great opportunity during that time because people had it as long as your electricity stays on 24 hours and you're mining this. But this process here is your body, you yourself, that's minding this crypto by your daily activities that you do. And there's no way that you do your part, you walk, you do your part that you're supposed to do, that you don't get paid because it's up to you. Now, if you stay at home, and even I would tell, like I mentioned, the lady asked me, she said, her husband is in a wheelchair. I said, well, does he move his arms? Can he do this? Can he move his arm? And as long as he's connected to, he has the phone or in
Yep.
his hand, or he has the watch, because nowadays, of course, it's more efficient to have the one of those fitness watch, and you get the reading on that, and that data also is minding this, that sending it to the process of the NFT. So daily workout, daily thing that you do every day, you're
Yeah.
able to sustain for it.
Is also,
So
and like you said, handicap, helping handicap, right? And these are some of them are women and children or adults that you're right, they're in a wheelchair, they can't move their legs, but they do move their hands, right? They
yes,
do, and
yes,
some of them they can't move it as much, but it literally they go for a daily workout, whether that workout is just to stretch out their arms or
right.
their legs, stretch them out, and even that movement of somebody else helping them to do that allows that movement in their body to go to the watch, to go to the
Hmm.
phone, to go ahead and claim it at the end of the week or at the end of the day, to
Get
go
at the
ahead
end of the
and
day,
get into
correct.
your NFT. Once it's in your NFT, now you have the cash there that you can deposit into your bank account. Like it's a
Well,
great idea. Like
I could
it's
show you.
really great idea.
I could show you text from people that are actually using this in West Africa, South Africa, how they thinking us because they're able to cash out $20, $50. For us in America, we sport.
Not much, but
We
there
are
it
very
is.
sport. We think that $20, if someone make $20, $10 a day is not a lot of money. But guess what? If that person is making that in 30 days, how much is that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, but you're making it from something that you were doing automatically. You're gonna do it you've been doing before that you never made a dime from it.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Some
saying?
remember some
And
countries, their average salary is like $200-300 a month.
a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So those people they thinking of this and man, this is incredible. This is what we're able to do with our community because it's helping them so much. And this is I know a lot of people may not understand the process, like man, but how? How? Because this is technology one on one. Like this is the future of fitness. This is the future of fitness where you could connect to something. Now, of course, you're gonna get the reward of your health. You're gonna become better. You're gonna lose weight. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do all those things. You're gonna be more active. But also, why not make some money while you do those type of things?
yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I think
so
honestly, people are excited already. I hear people, oh, I got X amount of steps in. This guy drinks beer all day. He does whatever. And yeah, I got X amount of steps in. And I'm like, great steps. But you drink mad beer, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's at the end of the day, if people get excited to say they have X amount of steps, right?
yes,
But
yes,
they don't like it's not even sometimes it's not even about in their eyes, it's not even about the fitness. It's about the psychological just to say I got X amount of steps today. I did this because they created a challenge in their mind that every
hmm
day
hmm
I want to check my steps and
right,
see where I went with it. So now if you go ahead and add more value to that, like you guys are doing by putting
hmm
$1 on top of that
top,
value,
Right.
it's going to be 20 times more people doing it. And even you're right. Now it's going to create them say, you know what? I was, barely doing this, and I was doing it. I was getting drunk and still making
Right. Right.
thing. Now they're gonna say, wait a minute. So imagine if I literally stop the drinking, work
Hmm.
out more, get more
Right.
steps in. That means that I'm gonna multiply my dollar.
Exactly.
So it's going to be more of a job for them to get more healthy, which, man,
Right.
that's like, it's revolutionary. Like, honestly, when it comes down to it, and you're in a new world of technology. So this is where we are, what people want to see, and people want different. So
Yes.
if you can
Yes.
allow different people, something new for somebody to do, and it makes the money, because everybody now
Hmm.
works from home, right? Ever since COVID, everybody wants to work from home and do things
Of
like that,
course.
which I honestly I love it because one, people that have locations where they need people to come to work every day, stuff like that, they hate it because they want people to work for them, right?
Yes.
But
Hmm.
but entrepreneurship is about taking that grip upon yourself and doing your thing. Like going ahead and finding the thing that's going to make you money. And at the end of the day, you and I both know it's not always one thing. We do
Hmm.
100 things at a time. And we'll get a little
Exactly.
here, little here, little here, little here, little here, and
Exactly.
it all adds up. And in the world of crypto, you literally can go to any type of decentralized network, find any coins out there, and all of these coins have a back end system where you literally can make money every day. And people don't know that, right? There's people that
Yes.
only
Hmm.
work
Hmm.
on crypto, and what they do is they don't technically work on crypto. They just go into their crypto wallet, go into a certain website, hit a button. It's called mining. They hit that
Right.
button. Boop. Now they just made $50, $20, $30 for the day. Then they come back tomorrow, do it again. So if you got like 20 of those type of guys that you hit in the boop, 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 you can literally make $1,000 a day mining, not even your own stuff, just mining
Exactly.
crypto. That money goes into your wallet, which is technically what's happening here, right? Goes
Right.
into the wallet. Now you've earned that money as a job, right? So there's people
Right.
literally doing this today without the work outside. But they're going in there and doing that physically. This is a way for you to feel good, you know what I'm saying, and get right and make money.
Make money.
you know?
But I mean, the
So
thing is, I mean,
yeah,
I tell people this. Some of the oldest country that has the most older people, like we're talking about age of 80 and up, is of course China, Greece, and those. And when they ask those people what they have done throughout their life, some of them they will tell you they do at least minimum 10,000 steps daily,
yeah,
and that
real
increase
steps.
your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That increase your life as well, because when you walk, I know a lot of us nowadays, of course, we don't walk anymore. We don't ride bikes anymore. I don't see people
Yeah,
riding bikes that much anymore, which is like, bro, I'm like, that's
right.
something
We
that
was riding
if you
bike everywhere. We were walking it.
everywhere.
I'm walking from one side of the Bronx to the other side of the Bronx in New York. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, I'm jumping in a cab. I'm jumping
Yeah,
like I'm drive over there. Something. I'm gonna get an Uber. Something. Right. Nobody wants to, like
see,
you said. Nobody wants to walk. Nobody wants to put those steps in. This might turn that
eh,
around.
thank you. Everything happens in life, for and when it's happening, because of course, when we go to the age of horses and it's changing to the bikes and the cars and all that, everything that happens is sometimes we get more into it and we lost the value of what we used to do, because you think about it, when someone used to ride their bikes, you stay healthy,
Yeah.
you were healthy. Your heart was better. Your lungs was better. Your kidney was better because you have a healthier lifestyle. So it allows you to have more when it comes into that, because it also help you live longer. I mean, we could talk about people helping people make money, all the money in the world, but what is the worth of it if you cannot enjoy the money? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you
Exactly.
cannot enjoy it because your health is bad, you cannot go from doing one step, even go upstairs in your house because your knees are bad, your things are bad. Because
Yeah.
and all it takes, guys, we're not here to tell you all it takes just a little bit, but this project here, it will motivate you. As you
How do
mentioned,
you
it
get into it
motivates you.
though? How do you get into it?
It's very simple. If people can actually go into my website, georgedennis.com, and they will see the link on there that say that you'll see the link in there that say get fit. And they could click on that, get paid for steps. They could click on it and they will be able to get through it and they will go through the whole process and everything. And
Nice.
also on my website, georgedennis.com, that's Dennis with one N, not two N's, because I know a lot of people get that confused. It's George
Don't
Dennis
worry, I'm
with
gonna put the
one N.
QR code on there so people are gonna be able to go
That
directly
that
to it.
that that so they'll be able to go into it. So that way they will go into it, and of course, any question that they have is very simple. Once they go into the that tab on my website, they will be able to go into it. I mean, a fifth grader could set this up. It's that simple. It's that
Yeah.
easy. You just click on it, and if you have one of those fitness watch, it's a plus. But you don't, because we use that because of course we all put our phone down sometime. So if you have the watch, and nowadays
Always
also they
moving.
also came out with the ring. They also came out with the ring. Like it look like a little wedding ring. I don't
Oh
have it
yeah,
with
I've
me right
seen
now.
those. Yeah.
So exactly. So there reads also they calculate your calories, your steps, your heart rate. You know what I'm saying? And it does a lot. So you don't have to go out there and spend thousands of dollars to get that. You know what I'm saying? But there's some of the companies out there that has that could provide you with those. And it's very cheap and but it's a great value because it allows you to calculate because all of us we should calculate how many steps that we take and how many calories that we burn in daily.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, guys, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your family. Because as you get older and you're not able to, you know what I'm saying, you become more like, because I had some people that were very close to me in my life and they passed on, they passed away. And because most of it was because of the health was not as best. And that's when I got into the journey. I said, guys, I have to change the way that I eat. I had to change the way that I do my daily activities because if those guys at a certain very early age, we're talking about 50 and 65, that's still early. That's still like
Yeah.
young. That's still very young age. I lost
Really,
two
it's
of the
too
closest
early.
people to me. Exactly. Because they had got to the point they got too comfortable and they did not, do what's necessary to do, take the daily steps, do the meditation, breathe more. Because one of the things that we don't do enough too, guys, is take a deep breath and hold our breath because as you do that, I do that every morning and every night before I go to sleep. Do it for about 5 or 10 minutes. Take some deep breath because your lungs.
Yeah,
That's
help
another thing
you know,
because
yeah.
as you're doing that, your lungs is a muscle too. You could work your lungs as you go in.
And people
I'm
don't
not here. I'm not.
realize that those small breaths eventually becomes
Thank you.
it's harder. So
And
that's
that
why
help.
those you gotta keep that thing going. Yeah, definitely, man. That's you. It's
It,
health is everything, right? Health is
everything
everything, and
is
you're
everything.
right. It's people in other countries. Like I always tell people all the time, I'm living at 200, right? People think I'm playing, right? But you want to know something?
Hmm.
I look at it like I don't feel like nobody's better than me, right? And the reason
Uh-huh.
I feel that way is because there's people all over the world, right?
Right.
US is the unhealthiest. All right.
Say it again, but people say it again.
All right.
That's true.
US the
That's
most
true.
unhealthiest. You go out of this country, there's people
Hmm.
living to
Yes.
120,
Yes. Easy.
115, and it's not
Easy.
something rare to them.
Easy. Yeah.
But
I
it's
just
all
I
about
just had I
health,
just
like
had
you
a family
said.
member that passed away. I just had a family member that passed away that was 103.
Yeah.
103. And 103, I'm not talking about 103 like she can't, talk to you. She remember me when I was a child, when I was playing around in her house and all this and that. Her memory was on site. Everything was normal because as far as because but here as we I mean, keep this in mind, guys. As they say, America is the greatest country of opportunity. That's why all of us, saying most of us immigrants here that came from other countries that came to America because the opportunity that it allows people to have. But in the same time, it is a country that will also make you stagger and stay so comfortable. Again, like you said, it is the most unhealthy country in the world because because they give us we have the right to eat what we want, to do what we want, and all this and that. sometimes it's a good, but it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Because now when we're making the choices, a lot of the people that make the choice, instead of taking the good choices, they're making the bad choices.
yeah.
Instead of eating a salad today, they may want to eat, you know what I'm saying, a hamburger or something like that, and don't eat the salad. Instead of eating the apple, eat your apple one a day. They want to eat a
It's like
candy bar one a day.
people, it's like little kids. Your mom tells you don't touch that. What is the first thing you want to do? You want to touch that, right?
Touch
Look at
exactly.
like in New
So,
York. In New York, you had Mayor Bloomberg at the time. What he did was he took away the big gulp from all of the
yeah, right.
7-Elevens in New York, right? Or I think in all the
Uh-huh.
gas stations, all of it.
Guess right.
Everybody was upset at him, right? You mad because you can't drink a lot of soda now, right?
Exactly.
And he took it away for healthy reasons. And even now, you see a lot of people, they're passing laws, they're doing certain things to kind of, they see it like diabetes is the thing out here.
Yeah.
And health, people dying over unhealthy like problems. These are
Exactly.
real things, and the government, the people are starting to see it, right? And like I just said, they're the most unhealthy, we're the most unhealthy country there is, right? Does our government really want to hear that? Does the US really want to hear that? So eventually what's gonna happen, they're gonna keep changing these things. And honestly,
Of
I would
course.
say every gym all over the US or even all over the world for that matter, right? Eventually really needs to put something like what you're doing in place, because this is something that people in schools, people,
Yes.
honestly, I would make it more of a mandatory thing that every cell phone, when somebody buys
Yes.
a cell phone, it's already embedded in the cell phone,
Cell
right?
phone. Exactly.
And all it's
Right.
like those apps. We got a million apps in our phone that we get when we buy a phone. I don't use none of them but a calculator, right?
Yes.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like put that app in that phone. Like Apple, this
Yep.
person, that person. They need to put your app in that phone so that people can really be like, I have a choice. Not I have to look
Man,
for
you just say something, man. Imagine, we put it when you point out that to the universe, that'll be something, of course, that'll be
it. I believe in the
lesson
law of
to be
attraction
able.
100%.
Of
You
course,
know
and
that.
we all do. We all
Yeah.
do. Being an entrepreneur, you have to. And you point
Yep.
out that to the universe. That's a great thing because imagine if the government, of course, were to use this process here. I mean, to because this is another way to motivate. Because most of us we want to do certain things. We want to walk. We want to do those things. But again, if there's a little motivation behind it, because right now everyone, I mean, even who does not want to earn some extra money?
100%. 100%.
Does not want to earn some. You do the math. I mean, somebody can make. I mean, I'm lady I was talking to. She was like, so if I do 10,000 step, boom, boom, blah. So you could tell me that I can make an extra $900 a month just by walking? I said, yeah, you can. You could make even more. So the idea is you cannot have any excuse anymore, and this is our time in 2024 for us to feel better, look better, right?
Yeah.
So we could help the next generation because our kids, man, the most important thing, guys, our kids are watching us. They're watching what we do. And what we do, if they see what we are doing is bad,
Mm.
they're gonna be doing 20 times, 100 times worse.
Yeah.
If they seen you being active, because at the end of the day, you are the parent, you are the head, you show them that, guys,
Lead by
you need
example.
to be more active. Lead by example. You need to be more active. That's why with me, there's certain things in life I'm not here to talk bad about. I never tap into it. Like even smoking, because I never wanted to be the guy that's like, you know what, if my kids, and I'm not here to bash anybody that smoke, because that's
Yeah,
your
no,
purpose. You know
100%.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just chose not. I never wanted to do it because I wanted to be the guy. If my kid were to come home one day and trying to smoke because they saw their friends and thought it was cool, I could tell them, I never did it.
Yeah.
I never did it, so you shouldn't do it. You should say that type of thing. I can have that conversation with them but if we out here doing the worst and we can't not, you know what I'm saying? That's what most parents nowadays they doing even worse things than the kids. So that's why they can't even be a parent. Instead of
Yep.
being a parent, they want to be a
They
friend.
want to be a
Now that's
friend.
the worst thing that you could do. That's the worst thing that you could do. I don't remember. Listen, me and my father, my parents, which I had the greatest parents ever. I always tell people that even my friends from back in the days, they say, "Man, we used to always come to your house. You always had the best toys, the best this, and people could hang at your house and everything." My parents were the best, but my parents, I didn't really become friend with my father until I was in my older age limit because he wanted to be my father during those ages that I needed. So a lot of us would now we become our kids friends too early. They will be your friend later on in life because they're gonna
Yeah,
appreciate you not being their friends when they were younger,
yeah,
that you were their parent. Because as a parent, you gotta make this, you gotta take away that game. Say, hey, you need to go outside real quick, do something, do some activities, walk around, cut the grass for us, do something to burn some calories. All you gotta do 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, your life would be so much better. You'll think better. I mean, guys, I can't imagine because as far as when I was going through a certain tough time in my life and I started walking because of this project here. I started walking more and I started to feel the pressure that I was thinking about as I'm walking, my mind become more clearly. And I started thinking more clear. I'm like other, ideas start coming
yeah,
up in my head because walk guys, you just don't know that walking is one of the most powerful things that you could do.
yeah.
I'm not talking about getting the treadmill, doing all this. No, walking, like, walking outside where you could hear nature, where you could smell nature. I don't like doing all this walking on the treadmill so much. I know
Motion
sometimes,
creates a motion creates like a reaction there in your mind that it just allows you to think and allows you to get all of your bloods pumping, your mind blowing, and it's honestly me too. Like is I drive when I drive, I don't put the music on.
yes, that's the
I
best time to think.
I
Also, yes.
drive in complete silence, right?
Hmm.
And I remember a friend of mine sits in the car one day and he's like, "Why don't you have the music on?" Right? And I'm like, "Because this is my thinking time.
Yeah,
While I'm
yeah,
driving, I can look straight and focus and think about ideas and different things that you want
yes,
to do
yes,
without the distraction of what's on the radio or the news or nonsense, really, right?
yes, yes,
Because that's
yes,
really what it is. It's anything, literally, I'm a marketer. Marketing is great, right? But I know the
yes,
concept of marketing. It's a
yes,
manipulation in the mind to make you
yes,
think something over and over again so that you eventually do it or buy it,
yes,
right? That's
yeah.
why McDonald's and all of these other great companines, they're only great because they're marketing.
Yes,
Coca-Cola's
sir.
marketing, right? They
That's it.
keep putting it in front of your face and say, "Here I am, here I am, here I am." And then when you go to the store, oh, there it goes. Let me grab one,
Grab one.
right?
Exactly.
And that's just how this thing works. So is trust me, man. Like
Marketing 101. They
you
play with your five
gotta,
senses.
yeah,
That's what it is. They play with the five senses that we all have. That's marketing 101. When you see it, you hear it, and you
yeah,
smell it, automatically, you touch it, you will buy it. That's
yeah. That's why
marketing 101.
walking or driving in silence and just giving you that find that one time of the day or abundance of time of the day that allows you to just think. Man, that's
Yes, yes,
valuable. That time, it's your time, right? Then, like we were saying
yes,
earlier,
of course.
like your time to be able to give to yourself and think. Because when you work, you can't think because you're working for somebody else, right?
Yes,
Or
yes,
if you're doing hard labor, you're doing hard labor for somebody else. So it's like I can't think about nothing else but doing this hard labor right now. Because if I think about something else, I might drop a hammer on my leg or something. But
right.
it's really comes down to you're right, man. Like take that chance, walk while you got your money maker right here, right? And that's your
Yep.
your balance between entrepreneurship and life, right?
Life,
It's
life,
you're making money while you're enjoying life, which is
of
great,
course.
right? So you have to do those things. Now, let me ask you this. So,
Hmm.
I know you do a lot of great things, right? And like what's next? What's next for you? Like besides what you're
Wow.
doing here, like do you have any something in the sideline you're working on that it's like is yours and it's your pride and joy? Because I know me, I always got something. Like I got my main thing, I got this thing, I got that thing, I got this thing. Then I always got that thing that's in the
Right,
cut
right.
that I'm working on slowly but surely, that it ain't ready to come out yet, but it's
Yeah.
working. And when people see this thing is awesome, right? So what's that thing for you?
The next thing for me, which it's a project that's actually several other investors and myself are a part of. Uh, that we bringing into the Caribbean. It's going to be a project that is it's going to be in all the Caribbean places, of course. It's going to, uh, which I'm very proud of. It's going to also be opportunity to employ at least 400 to 500 people in the Caribbean in that space. That's going to allow them, of course, to you think about it. If you employ 400 people, that's 400 lives that you're
You're
going to be
changing.
changing,
Yeah.
and it's a project that I'm very proud of, and is coming along because it's going to allow people to the same thing still because I still want to stay because I still want to stay in the digital space because guys, that's the future. But those people that's listening right now, if you don't have anything invested into digital currency, by the year 2030, you're gonna be lost because
Lost.
everything is going to change into that. Because
Yeah.
even your own bank that you bank with right now is going towards that. It's going towards digital,
Yeah.
right? So which means that you could have all the dollars in the world, whatever, it's not going to value to anything because it's going to be digital. So that's still within that space. So that itself, because again, I look at it because there's a lot of places in the Caribbean, they need something like that. So we're going to provide them with a project that is basically it's incredible, man. It's basically just imagine that you having in your backyard that a lot of these properties in the Caribbean, they don't have what you call like a big water park
Yeah.
that allows them to have this event. So that to me, when that comes about, we're working on that project. I'm very proud of that because going also that's very dear to me because we going to put people in place for them to not only be beneficial for themselves and also for their family and to
Good,
to
man.
work and the next
That's
generation.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you're right. Digital
So
currency is it, man. Like, if you ain't involved in it, you need to get involved in it. I've been in crypto for years. And before even Coinbase been around, I've been into crypto trading and, doing different type of deals with people. And trust me, it's like,
and
if I
congratulations for your book as well. Yeah, you got
thank
an
you, bro.
incredible book. I know you ain't gonna mention, but I'll mention it for you. I'm gonna promote it for
Yeah,
you.
check out my book on
Congratulations on your book.
Amazon. I have a lot of great gems in there of how I got started into that. And it's a great book, right? It's my crypto collections, my crypto private collections. It's definitely something that you want to check out. Look up my name, Stephen Olivo, on Amazon, and all of my books will come up. But trust me, crypto,
Yeah,
it's everything. Like I love crypto. And people tell me all the time, oh, people lose money all the time and people do this, but people lose money doing everything, right?
thank
So
you.
it's like you do stocks, you lose. You can start a brand new company and lose. You can do so many things and lose, right? So that's a scare tactic for an average person, right? So that's one of the things about people too is like break the cycle, right? Get
Yeah,
out of that
yeah,
that
yeah.
that wave of fear,
That,
that wave of
yeah.
what everybody else thinks is wrong, right? Because what they think is wrong is literally right. Because their cycle is so messed up inside from like, how they grew up, right? So I didn't grow up with money. George didn't grow up with money, right?
Nope.
We grew up in areas where we weren't supposed to make it.
We
And
call it humble. We call it humble beginning. Humble beginning.
humble beginning, right? But it's we broke the cycle and said,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not going that way. I'm gonna go ahead and do me. And even if we went through trials and tribulations to finally get to where we are, it's something that now, real entrepreneurs or people that love what they've done and came from nothing, we're all about giving back. That's why,
Yeah.
everything you've heard George say so far was this helps people.
Right.
We're helping people. We're changing people's lives. He's not once said it's changing my life,
No.
right? Because it's not about the person.
Me.
It's
No.
about the people. All right. And
The
that's the
masses.
key about, real entrepreneurship and real like love for the world, right? And just because you're an entrepreneur doesn't mean you have love for the world. There's greedy guys, there's guys that love to give back, right? Which greedy is not always the worst thing in the world for an entrepreneur, because sometimes they need that greed because that's their hunger to succeed,
Hmm.
right? And then once they get up there, they're gonna realize, like, all right, I feel good now. I don't have to be as greedy no more. Let me give back now. Right. But people need it. Right. So I'm not going to down anybody, because at the end of the day, is an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. You got to get it. Right.
Right.
And with
Facts.
no
Facts. Facts.
excuses, nobody telling you nothing. No, no.
Facts.
Again,
Facts.
like, just
That's what it is.
do
Because
you.
at the end of the day, you have to be. When it comes to another thing, I'm gonna add on to what you just said. Picking back on what you said. Digital. Imagine this, guys. I had a guy one time that was around my age, and his father was a little bit older, and he was having a conversation with his father, and I was around. He asked his father, he said, "Man, why in 1996 you didn't invest in Bitcoin?" Like, well, because I didn't really know much about the room. And he made the father feel so bad. And at that time, I said, man, if there's anything that comes around that's going to be a lifetime changing decision like this, I would not be like that father. For my kids to come to me, imagine 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, your kids come up to you and say, man, where were you when digital currency was the thing? Why you didn't invest into it? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do
Yeah.
that? And now you out here looking like a or like a whatever, because you're not able to explain that to your kids.
Yeah.
Because again, we here before them, this is available to us. So we
Yeah.
should at least give us the time for us to learn. I know, of course, there's always uh
Well, look
good
at the
and
computer.
bad things. Thank you.
Yeah, the computer. Like, people thought that was crazy. Oh, you can't do that. Then there was the AOL chat from country to country. People like, oh, you can't do
Mhm.
that. Now you got Facebook, you got all these different things. Now,
Exactly.
forget about chatting now. You're on video.
Yes.
Innovation. That's what it's called. So anything that is people are doing that is innovative, you need to follow. Because
Thank you.
whether it's something now that it might not be great right now, but look at the down the line side of things, where we're going. That's why
Right.
this thing here with the fitness, like, come on, like,
Yeah.
this is like common.
Well, one
This
thing
is
that I
a
can say
common
also,
sense situation here.
when it comes to nowadays, I feel like there's too many experts, and it's a good
Yeah,
thing, and it's
yeah,
also a bad thing because nowadays, anything that you want to learn, you could go on YouTube and you could
yeah,
pull it up. You can pull it up. So what I mean about that? So people should not have excuses anymore
yeah,
on certain things, on things that wants to learn. If you take the time, of course, you give somebody 8 hours a day, you do that. But by the time you get home, if you take 2 or 3 hours to learn something, it's right there. You don't have to go spend a whole lot of money. The information is right there in front of you. So it's a matter of, are some people nowadays, are they, do they have enough what's the word here, to better themselves? Because if you invest 8 hours somebody else, why not invest in 3 hours or four
yeah,
hours for yourself to learn something?
100%.
Because at the end of the
Or even an
day,
hour
when
for that
you're
matter, right? Because there's people that don't even invest that hour. They rather go ahead, work that 9 to 5, come home, and literally do nothing, right? Or and I don't down this, right? But this is just average. So people, I look at people every day, like, and it's some people just come
uh-huh,
home and they be like, let me go mow the lawn, or let me
uh-huh,
go do things that it's not bad to do, because there's your house or your things, right? But it's like, let me do these things. But it's really what
mm-hmm,
it is. It's a
mm-hmm,
way
mm-hmm.
to occupy their mind,
The mind,
to
exactly correct,
occupy their time, to say, I
exactly
did a lot today, right?
right,
But
exactly.
if you want to really do a lot targeting your future, targeting your growth, not
Yeah,
that, right? Like, go ahead, mow the lawn, but do that. Take a few minutes. Don't be out there dancing on the lawn and going crazy like you. You know what I'm saying? Knock it out.
Like your guy, you told me this guy cutting the lawn on
You
the
know what I'm
reg.
saying? Like, come on. I'm out here. I'm trying to
But
get this money. I come home from my office after working all day long on my own craft to literally coming home and jumping on my computer and working on my other craft to 1 in the morning, right? And it's like,
right, right,
because I'm working on me. And I know that if I
right.
allow myself to work on me today, tomorrow is going to be a better day, right? And
Exactly, exactly.
that's what breaking the cycle is all about. That's what entrepreneurship is like keep it on the go. You got to stay on the
Yes.
go.
You have to stay on the go. You have to stay on the new thing that's
Yeah,
happening, the new thing that's happening because us entrepreneur, we write our own paycheck. That's one.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because you're not there to have someone to give you a paycheck. And that's what I love about it. Because at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur, what does that mean? It means that you know your value. You don't let somebody else dictate what you're worth.
yeah,
That's what an entrepreneur is. If you write your own paycheck, because an entrepreneur can say, man, last year I made 200 and 200K, but this year I want to make 350. So you just know the same thing that you did, you just do that, a little bit more,
yeah,
10 times more. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that I tell people all the time, when you work in a job and they give you a salary, that's telling you how much you're worth. And they cap you at that level. So
yeah,
now you cannot never exceed that level. You can only make, saying that same amount of money, which is okay. You make 100K, 50K, whatever it may be at that level. But being an entrepreneur, whatever that you earned last year, that's done. You say, you know what? I'm gonna do that 10 times more. So now I can have a better. So you write your own paycheck. So being an entrepreneur, I'm not saying guys, everybody just drop whatever that you're doing right now, be an entrepreneur, because a lot of people get into entrepreneurship prematurely, which means that they have a regular 9 to 5, but they got into entrepreneurship and they say, I'm good, and just leave their job totally. No,
yeah.
you could do both at the same time to get to the
Until
level to
one
the point that
out levels the
I
other. Yeah,
exactly I level the other one. So now you say, you know what? Now it's up to you to make that decision. You say, you know what? I'm gonna let that 9 to 5 go and just continue. Because another thing too, a lot of people are afraid of being an entrepreneur because they're thinking that, oh, I'm not gonna have access to my 401k, to the insurance and all that. No, you could do all that. You could still put money into your social security by
yeah,
your own money that you do every year. You put that money to the side that you earn monthly and you put it into it at the end of the year. It's like if you were doing if you're working a regular 9 to 5. But
yeah.
some people are afraid of that because they feel like they're not gonna have some of the perks that a job. But everyone, I believe that everyone if you live if you are in America, you should have uh another streams of income, which is your own business, something else that you are doing, something that you're building. And the best way to also do it, guys, which a lot of people, it costs less money and be able to do it. And I've been able to do it is through networking, network marketing
Network.
business that you could do with, you know, whenever they asked the great Bill Gates, he said, guys, I think he was on Oprah. Oprah say, hey, if you were to lose everything that you have right now, that you have worked for, that you have earned, how would you get that back? He said, that's very easy through my network.
That's it.
He said, I would get it back and I would get it back, 10 times more. I mean, 10x
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't leverage that. They don't leverage the network, the people that they know, because they're afraid that that person's gonna tell them no. Oh, leverage your friendship with others that you have the
I
network.
offer
So
I
now,
offer myself to people all day long. Like I tell people that know me, I say, look, like use my network. Like I know people for
but how
days.
many of them use this? There, you say that, but how many of them they actually? I do. I know
Yeah,
I
I
do.
know you do,
I use
but
you.
but trust me, people don't do. You're right, people don't do that.
Thank you.
And you want to know something is that, like Bill Gates said, I'll use my network. That tells you,
Exactly.
like, that's
Uh
your
huh.
network. Those are your people. Those are your friends. Those are
Thank you.
your people that you made business with. You've done business with. That you even have great conversations with. That they're willing to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
something. Oh yeah, let me help you get back to where you need to be. Or what are you missing? Tell me your story and let me tell you what you're missing, and let me see if I can find that value for you or something. Because it's all it is, right? Grant Cardone, he did something that he acted like he was broke for 1 week. He
Yeah, I
went
saw
on
that.
like
I
a
saw that.
undercover boss type situation,
Exactly.
right? And I think he had like $100 or maybe nothing in his pocket,
Well,
and
mm-hmm,
he made
mm-hmm.
$3 million in a week, in a month, in 30 days, I think it
Exactly.
was, right? Something like
30
that.
days. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but
leverage his
he made
network.
$3
Yeah.
million in 30 days, and it really comes down to the fact that what he didn't ask nobody for money. He just took his
Mm-hmm.
experience and leveraged it. But that should show you something. In 30 days, he had $0, made $3 million. Does that mean he needed money to do that? Or was it sweat equity? It was
Mm.
sweat equity, because that sweat
Mm-hmm.
equity is what got him that 3 million by his experience and leveraging. I can do this,
Yeah.
leverage that to
Yeah.
get this, leverage this to get that, put them all together. Now I have something here. I just created a whole pie, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's really what it comes down to. And Bill Gates, and these are the greats telling you this. People go broke, people fail in their businesses and fail in something, they quit. Oh, I'm done. I'm never doing this again. It's a hard thing. Nah, that was a lesson. Now take that
Exactly.
lesson, and where you failed or where you went wrong, don't do that again, and just do something different towards it to make it better.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
take some of your
Absolutely.
money this time, excuse me, take some of your money this time and reserve it, so that when you have a situation, you have backup that's going to help you leverage that. I've been in many situations where I could have been done, but because I
Mm-hmm.
had my kitty to the side, I always was able to come out of that situation on top. And because that was a level, it was a stage of where you leveling up, right? Every time that happens. And it took me from going here to being able to save myself to going here, just because I
Mm.
was able to get out of that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So trust me, man, is like, my opinion, like, entrepreneurs out there, like people that are really trying to get it or that are getting it, just have that no quit attitude. Like,
Yes. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
never quitting.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Spartan, like never quitting. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they
Yeah.
need, is that never, I'm never stopping. Nothing's gonna stop me.
Yeah.
I don't believe in excuses. I don't believe in failure. That's not in my
Failures. Yes.
vocabulary. I'm a
Yes.
winner at all costs.
Yes.
Like, it's something that I'm
Yes.
gonna go from 0 to 100 like this,
Right.
right? And it's really because,
Because
like, my
all
motivation.
it takes, guys, all it takes, because, you know, like that great book that I read, most of us are only, you know, 6 feet away from goal, from
Yeah,
hitting goal.
yeah,
So, which means that something that we've been tweaking on, especially that idea that we have, or the entrepreneurship, that business that we started, that we want to start, we only, if we just stick into and do it, as I mentioned, stay disciplined for a short period of time. Discipline is where a lot of us people fail, because
yeah.
we're not disciplined enough. We start eating good today, then tomorrow we fall back into it. We start eating good today. So those type of, but when you have a
Consistency.
discipline, that is why also when people look at athletes, saying, look at people like, they cheering for this team, is because that they see themselves in that person. Because to be an athlete, most of the time, you have to be so consistent. You have to be so disciplined. So you got to wake up at a time. You got to eat a certain food. You got to do certain things. So that discipline itself
You
comes.
That is like key, what you just said, right? Is the fact that people watch football every Sunday. Why do they watch football every Sunday? Not because they like a team, because it's part of their routine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why do they
Yeah.
brush their teeth every morning? Because it's part of their routine. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
people would literally take a piece of entrepreneurship and put it in their routine, what happens? They're gonna do it every day,
Every day.
every week, part of a routine. And that's key, right?
Yeah.
Consistency,
Yes.
routines. Be consistent with that routine, which is gonna bring you that success.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
or it's gonna continue to allow you to watch football every Sunday, right?
Right.
Right. So it's focus on football Sunday and be, feel yourself in that guy, which you could and you are, right? Or let me be that guy and put my
Hmm.
efforts into focusing on, I'm gonna watch the game, but I'm gonna be on this computer trying to sell myself. Let
Yeah.
people watch
Yeah.
me too, right?
Of
So
course.
let me ask you
So
this.
they could
So
cheer for you.
yeah, yeah. So George, like you're a tremendous person, great friend, and I know that you're going great places, right? And just you and I could talk for days. You already know we'll talk this up,
I know.
right?
I know. We're talking, bro.
Because we
We're
feel
giving.
the same
We're
way.
giving Jared. Exactly.
Yeah, like we feel the same way, and we have the same wants, the same needs, the same things. Like they bring us on. Like it's something that you have it inside you that you're never gonna fail. You're always gonna be a great person, and believe it or not, like you're one of the people that when you do hit me up, Steve, what up? I'm like, there you go, he back, right? He's back. What you been
Yeah.
up to,
Yeah.
right? Because I know you always cooking. You always got something
Exactly.
working
Yeah.
back there, right? And that's great, right? You got to do that too. And like I tell people all the time, I tell friends of mine, look, if you don't hear from me for a while, don't be mad. It's not that I don't
Hmm.
like you. I'm just in focus mode, right?
Exactly.
I'm focusing
Yeah.
on something great. When that thing comes out, don't worry, I'm gonna tag you in, coach. Come in, hang out with us. Let's do this
Yeah.
together. Let me show you how to make this money, right? And that's really what it's about, right? And let me ask you this. So if you can say anything to these entrepreneurs or people wanting to be an entrepreneur or somebody just getting into the field of I want to leave my job or just have thoughts in their mind. What kind of advice can you give to somebody today and, for their growth, for their starting point, for their journey?
This is what it is. That's great. I mean, that's a great question, by the way. And I believe during our conversation, we answered most of that, but I'm gonna add a little bit more into
No,
it.
yeah, you trust me. Our
Actually,
conversation, you had a lot of that, right? But it's
but
really a lot of that. It's like it's just greatness within itself, right? But I want you to pinpoint, direct it to somebody you may know or somebody that you
right,
feel like wants to be an entrepreneur, but it's like something holding them back, or they want to start and they
right.
just don't know where to start, right? And those things is like they're in front of their face, but they don't see it.
The beauty about this time that we're living in right now is you don't have to have a lot of capital to start your own
I don't know.
entrepreneurship for you to be an entrepreneur. That's one. And these all come down to faith, faith and work. Because faith without work is dead. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have the faith of whatever that you want to do. It may be, of course, you want to go into real estate. Okay, you could do that. It may be that you want to go into finance, do that. It may be that you want to go into credit repair, all those type of things, to health and fitness, those type of things. You have to have the faith on it first. You have to, because at the end of the day, each and every one of us has a vision that's keep playing in our head, but we're not taking advantage of it. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's worse because I mean, one of my great mentors, Les Brown, said the richest place on earth is at the cemetery. I'm like, whoa. When I heard that, I'm like, whoa. And he broke that down. He said, you know why? Because there's so many of us that die and never utilize that gift that was given
Yeah.
to us. That's there in the cemetery. That book that we're supposed to write. Right now, man, you got me. When I read, I said, yo, you got me motivated. I'm starting to, because I always wanted to write a book. I'm starting to type in a little bit, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
trying to do that. Because as far as
You
the
should.
book that's in our mind that we never wrote, right? The that that piano lesson that we wanted to learn how to play piano, we never did. So all those things, it comes to at the end of the day is being an entrepreneur, you got to have the faith and put the work behind it because
Yep.
you have to work because, but keep this in mind. What's the most important thing, the beauty about being an entrepreneur is that your work that you're going to do, it will never go in vain, but it's only a short period of time. Because to the point that if you're doing what you're doing it successfully, you're doing it right, guess what? You're going to earn enough Now you're going to start hiring people to work for you.
Yep.
That's the key word. Because entrepreneurship, when you first started, for the first 2 or 3 years, even 5 years, you're going to be the one working the
Yep.
most because you're not going to have, most entrepreneurship businesses that you started, you're not going to have enough money to pay those people to hire people. If you do in the beginning, that's perfect. That means you'll probably get to the next level sooner.
Yeah.
But even though it's the idea of you have faith in yourself and keep this in mind. When someone has a spouse and have someone else that's to believe in them, anybody to believe in them, it could be one of your kids, one of your, you know what I'm saying, your wife, your husband, whichever, that believe in you. And just to give you just that one word of encouragement, because in the beginning, going to need someone to fall back on. So that's why a lot of people also, if you have that person, the accountable person to keep you accountable with certain things, that's good. If you don't, that's okay as well. But if you have a person, it could be a friend or family members that if you say you're gonna do this, that could come back and say, "Yo, Steve, you remember you told me you're gonna do that, bro? What happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened?" And take you back to that why, because everything started with a why, but you gotta have the faith and you gotta put the work behind it. So, entrepreneur,
100%.
if you hear, you listen to this, if you go into that level, of course, I'm not saying it's the easiest, but guess what? It's the most profitable at the end if you do it the right way, if you do the requirement and what's necessary to do it to the point that you'll be the one providing people with work, with job, you know, and that feeling to itself to me is priceless. Where you could actually help someone because anytime you provide someone with opportunity, with a job, with anything that you presented to them, look at it this way. You working right now, helping someone, that's going to be for the next second, third generation. Because if that person working with you, working and you doing things with you, if they set this up correctly, they could set this up to the point that they could have the next second, the third generation set up
Yep.
if they do it correctly. And that's another thing also that we provide, of course, with the life insurance and so
Yeah.
forth that we
Yeah,
provide. You know what I'm saying?
or
So
even like when we sell the small businesses, right? The small loan
exactly.
service businesses, and I always tell people like, look, they say, oh, what name should I use? And I always tell them because we create the website for
Right, right.
them, we help
That's
them
right,
get
right.
the LLCs put together, whatnot. And I always tell them, look, when I create a name, you got to think about it like this: you're creating a legacy.
Legacy. Boom.
There's a legacy that you're gonna for your kids, for your
Mhm,
grandkids, for people in your family, and for your name to be known for something. All right.
mhm.
So take this name, take your time to come up with this name because I want it to be something special for you. All right.
Yeah.
And you want to know some people come up with great names all the time, right? Sometimes I gotta help them with names, but it's something that honestly, like it's your legacy is everything. And you being an entrepreneur, you get to build a legacy. Like you don't just
Yes.
hear that, right? People always say that, like legacy, legacy, legacy. My grandfather left a legacy, my this, my that. But you need to leave a legacy. Let people talk
Yeah.
about you and the legacy you
Exactly.
left. All right.
Exactly.
Because that's where it starts, right? You can't live off of anybody else. You got to live off of where you start, your foundation, right? And
Exactly.
entrepreneurship, let me tell you something. I love being an entrepreneur. Like there's me working for somebody never been a thing. It never been something that I could do because I knew it. Like I always looked at somebody's business and said, I can do this better. There's
Yeah.
this guy or this woman
Some people may call that arrogant, but it's not arrogant.
is not
It's a
arrogance.
level of it's a level you know your worth. You know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
worth. That's what
yeah.
that is. It's not arrogant. It's that you know what you are worth.
And then we think about it, the people calling it arrogance, it's really people that are stuck in the cycle of followers,
Yeah.
right? Be a
Exactly.
follower, not a leader. Nah, brother, I'm a leader, right? I
Yeah.
lead
Yeah.
packs. I don't follow packs, right?
Yes.
And if a
Yes.
pack don't want to follow me, I'm gonna go down that road dolo by myself. And eventually people are gonna say, man, let's catch up to him because
Yeah.
it's all about you knowing what you can do as a person, who you are, right?
Facts.
And
Facts.
everybody has something great inside them. All right. And this even come down to autism,
Yep.
right? They
Yep.
say children with autism, they always have one thing
Yes, yes,
that
yes,
they're super great at. All right.
yeah.
And that's everybody. It's not just kids with autism. It's everybody has something great in them, but it's up to that person to take that one great thing and leverage it to their
hmm
success, right? And that's where a lot of people don't go. But look, George, man,
I don't know. Let me
I
add this.
love it,
I
man.
don't know if they still have this test. I don't know if they still have this test. I remember when I was 16, my uncle, of course, which was like, my father brother, which is like saying was the second greatest man that I ever known in my life after my father. When I was 16, he there was a test that I went and took at that time. And I don't know if the school still does this test. It's a test of I forgot what it's called, but it tells you what you are good at, what you could actually do. I think we need to go back to having school doing those tests again, not only for
Schools
kids
don't
that's in
even teach people how to do their signature no more. They don't teach them how to
um,
fill out a
that,
check. Come on, they've
because
it's
that
crazy.
test, what it did to me at that time when I was 16, that test showed me that I was a great, I'm great in speaking, motivator, and I'm a great of someone that that could motivate people and also that could teach people. And I'm
Yeah,
like, whoa, because it showed me that. And when I
and
was
you are.
16,
Yeah,
and this is the thing. So most people they go throughout their life and they don't never know what they are good at, and they have that, like you mentioned. They have each and every one of us is born with something that's within us that we just have to first. It doesn't matter what age that person is right now, that you are right now. You can still. I hope that I don't know. I forgot the name of the test, but it's a test that I took. Uh, uh, it was one of those. It teaches you. It tells you exactly what you are good at and what you should focus on to take
yeah,
you to the next level. Because some of us, of course, we are great at at painting, as you mentioned. We are great at certain things.
yeah,
At the end of the day, why not now before you are 6 feet under? Why not now take that and share that with the world? See, the idea is a selfish person would take something that they learn and then not share with others and just die with it. It is selfish. But if you are someone that whatever that you learn, like right now, we're sharing these germs with all these people is due to the fact that we want someone else to succeed. We
yeah,
want someone to say,
yeah.
you know what? I listened to
Learn
this.
something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was on this podcast. I listened to you guys. That got me motivated. That got me, thinking, and it got me motivated to the point that I wanted to start something, and I went and started doing it. Whatever that you have in your mind, it does. See, just like the stupid question is the question that you never ask.
yeah.
The idea that you have that you think that is stupid is because you never done it.
Well,
But once
what
you
your
start
mom
doing
said,
it,
a closed mouth don't get fed,
you're fed.
right?
So you
We've
just
been
gotta,
taught this
yo,
since we was kids.
kids. But we
Yeah,
lose that. So write that down. Write that idea that you have. You know what I'm saying? At that, early in the morning when you wake up, that first idea that comes into your head, write that down and say, you know what? Let me do some research on it.
yeah,
Let me find out how can I bring this to life because it get the Most High gives you this idea because it's for you. No, if you have somebody that you trust, that you really know that it's not going, because we have a lot of dream killers out there, and
yeah,
sometimes it could be that person that's sleeping next to us.
yeah,
So if you don't have that person that you could share that idea with, just just work it on yourself. Go find.
yeah.
There's enough information out there.
And it's key what
There's
you just
way more.
said. Write it down, right?
Now,
Write it down because that's you by you putting it on paper, you're creating, you're creating something that you're mapping out a plan, right? Then when you create, and so I actually sell a book on Amazon. It's called The 5 Year Plan. All right.
uh-huh.
Now, what this book is, it's a way for somebody to manifest by writing down and drawing, right? And in that book, it really states, if you write it, you can create it, right?
Create it
And
exactly.
now by you going ahead and doing this, you're making it a reality. All right. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something that you need to write it down, but don't just write it down. Like when I first wrote down my 5 year plan, I remember I bought my first house and everything. Same exact one I put in this book. and I wrote everything down to the T of I needed a broom, I needed a couch, I needed a
Right.
refrigerator, I needed, milk in my refrigerator, right? And then
Right.
I went
Right.
ahead and drew a
Right.
house that I wanted, right? Which is the layout of the house that I own right now in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
drew this house and I didn't own the house at the time. It just came to be that the same exact house I saw and I wrote is the one I ended up buying, right? Which is crazy to me
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
Hmm.
But you have to write it and then
Yes.
draw it out, visualize
Yeah.
it. That's by you drawing, you're visualizing. So some people try to visualize without drawing, but then it's like a blur. It's blank in
Yeah.
your head.
Exactly.
But
Right.
if you put it on
Right.
paper, draw it out, right? One of my first businesses, I used to own a barbershop, right? I don't cut hair, right? But I said, let me get a barbershop. I wrote down all the chairs I wanted, all the this I wanted. Then I wrote that I did a diagram of it, like a picture of the layout of how I wanted it, right? And these are all things that came to life for me just because I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Back then when I
Yeah.
was younger, honestly I should have thought bigger, right? Because I
Yeah.
only drew that barbershop, or I drew this, right? And things that I could if I knew that this magic worked so well, I should have did it bigger, right? But I don't regret because it taught me that this works, right? And
Right.
that's why
Right.
what George
Right.
is saying, write it down,
Of
like
course.
put it on paper, right? Because
Yeah.
once it's on paper, now you have that law of attraction start kicking in,
Kicking it. Exactly.
and you gotta really feed that. And one of the things with law of attraction is everybody looks at, if I think it, I believe it, I'm gonna get it. This is a fact, but there's also something else a part of that. It's called action, right?
Action.
So
Exactly.
if you take
Yeah.
action towards that law, you're gonna allow yourself to go ahead and succeed and get what you want. But it all takes that action part of that, writing it down and doing those things. I ain't just write down I want a barbershop. Honestly, these are things that fell in place because an opportunity came to me and I said, okay, why not? Let me get it. Right. And I ended up buying a barbershop. Right. And these are, again, it wasn't meant for, I don't cut hair. So it was like, just because I wrote it in this book, it manifests. Just because
Of
I
course.
bought
Of
this
course.
house in Florida, I literally didn't plan on buying this house 4 years in it, 4 years before I wrote it in this book. It was just the last house I remember I was in Florida. And a friend of mine
Mm-mm.
literally made it so easy for me to
So
buy this house because I didn't
you
even
couldn't say no.
I didn't even need to get financing. The dude owner
Wow.
financed it to me. He literally came out of the blue one day, say, "Hey, you want to buy my house?" I'm like, "Yeah, my credit ain't that good at the time. My credit ain't that good. I don't know if I can get it." He goes, "You don't even need credit. Do you want to buy my house?" I said, "All right,
Wow.
if it's like that." And he said, "Yeah, I'm an owner finances you. Don't worry about it. We'll get the paperwork set up. I'm moving. I'm buying another house, and you can have it if you want it." I said, "That easy?" I took it. What are you
See,
gonna do? That was my very first house. That was my
that's what
very first
happened.
house that I bought, right? And literally, the law of attraction works that way.
Attraction. Thank you.
Like,
That's what happened also. Like okay, it's just like a skill. Just like Michael Jordan said, the more you practice that skill of law of attraction, things become so lucky. He even said, he said, guys, there were some shots that I made. Like, how the heck did I make the shot? Because as you started to tap into that, that's
yeah,
the same thing. Because as far as things starting to become so luckier for you, and people call it luck, but it's just a law of attraction. Because again, anything that I have that's in the spiritual mind that I still thinking about it, I put it in the physical realm. I write it down.
yeah,
So by writing it down, now you put in the physical realm. Now you're giving the universe the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm gonna grant you that you're asking me for,
yep,
because I put it into the physical realm by writing it down. Then after that, I go and do the work. Like you said, I go and do the work. And when I'm doing the work, the worst thing is sometimes when you're doing the work of something that you that you receive, that comes to you an idea. Most of the time, it's not going to hit right away.
yeah.
So it's going. That's when that
Called
doubt start
seeds.
creeping in. Thank you. When that doubt start kicking in, you're like, man. Should really still been doing this? A lot of people again that we talk about, they quit before then when that doubt start kicking in because at the end of the day, the money's not coming in. You got to go into your saving to save this business, to do this, to do that,
Yeah.
to do that. You start thinking about like, man, am I really? Is this? Should I really be doing this? Should I just stop doing it? And that's when boom, most people fail because again, they don't take the time for them to actually go through the process because we all life is like this, guys.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down. When it goes zoom, what that means, you're dead.
You're
When that
dead.
straight line, when that straight line, so he's never gonna be a straight line.
Yeah, they never gonna be
It's like
like
when you hit that flat line, that means you're dead. So it's going to be like this, like this, like this. So all we got to do as entrepreneurs, of course, we got to always, set ourselves up, like you mentioned earlier, for that when it goes down. So if
yeah,
we have a safety net when it goes down,
yeah,
when it hit that level, so now we can still maintain the same lifestyle that we're maintaining, and after that, you can still go back up.
exactly.
That's what it
Exactly.
is, man. I love being an entrepreneur, man. I love talking to people like yourself because we have the same mindset and we
Yeah.
look at life. See, we look at life differently than I would say a lot of other people in the world. Because again, when you are a true entrepreneur and you know that faith is something that you have to have so much of.
Yeah.
You gotta have so much faith on yourself, the product that you have, and like you said, believe bigger and believe faster.
Yeah.
See, I don't see this is what my wrist see what my wrist says right here. This thing, this is what I wear. I don't know if you can see it.
Think bigger. Yeah.
Think bigger, think big, think bigger. So every day, you know what I'm saying? Any little idea that I have, I say, man, nah, I gotta think bigger, man. I gotta
Yeah.
think bigger than that. I can't think small because it will take the same amount of time for me to do something small than to do it bigger. So I'd rather
Yeah.
do it bigger, get it
Same
to the
amount of
level of
effort.
big.
Same amount of
Thank
effort.
you. Same
Right.
amount of effort, man.
But the problem
So
is a lot of people don't feel like they deserve that or they're not on that level yet, right? And at the end of the day, who is and who determines who is and who's not, right? Only you do. So if you're allowing
self,
yourself not to be valued as if, then you're not. But if you know that you're valued as I am, then you go ahead and allow that as well. So it's really you create your own value. All right. You create who
self.
you are. You create, your following. Really, you create the people that you want to know you and you create anything like that. Right. So you're the creator of you. So you have to allow yourself to create your future into what you want it to be, not what society wants it to be. And that's what entrepreneurship is that we're creators. We take out that book and draw our
Yeah,
world. We make our road to success. We don't allow that 9 to 5 to determine you think in a year I can get management, or you think in a year I can get $1 raise. Come on. Like you really need $1 raise? Like you need more than
yeah,
$1 out here, right? You need some
of
money out here. Like dollar ain't gonna do
course,
it for you. And then to top it off, you literally saying that an extra dollar is more what your time is worth. Like get a like evaluate your worth. And that's another thing, right? Evaluate who you are,
you
your
are
worth,
exactly.
your person. How much do you love yourself to honestly say, I'm willing to do nothing,
Hmm.
or I'm willing to do it all? And honestly, when I climb this ladder, or if I climb this fence, or I climb this, or I climb that, am I willing to fall? Yeah. Like I'll fall and get right back up and do it again, right? And you have to be willing to do it again and again and again and again
And
because
again,
not everybody's road is the same, right? It's not going to be
mhm,
one hit, boom, home run. No, you might hit a few grounders. You might hit a line drive. You might hit, you might hit a couple balls, right?
yeah,
But it really is about keep swinging. As long as you
yeah,
keep swinging, eventually you're gonna hit what you're looking to hit.
of course.
And
Another
it's
thing too, a lot of people pride. That's the thing that just came into my mind right now. I'm saying just that pride sometimes because
yeah,
it's so much successful entrepreneurs out there. So if someone is not an entrepreneur and they trying to get into that level, find someone to mentor you. But
yeah,
what does that mean? Find someone to mentor you. sometimes you may I have because I remember, man, I spent so much time with some of my mentors that I had in the past, and I was just spending time around them. I was helping them doing certain things, being, you know, what I'm saying like being their assistants, being whatever, so I could just listen, so I could just hear that little germs that they
Yeah.
dropping,
I
and
got
even, you know, what
great
I'm saying be
mentors
around
myself. Yeah.
just saying be around the people and just hear some of the things that they were talking about and some of the things that I was able to invest into got into early stage in my life and entrepreneurship was by doing that, by being around people that was already successful. And I look at them, I say, I mirror them, I say I wanted to be at the level that they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of us nowadays, we have too much pride. We don't
I'm gonna
want to
do it by myself.
have by myself. I want to sure now know that is the most idiotic thing that I ever heard, man.
Yeah.
Because in anything in life, you need someone to mentor you. All the greats had a mentor, had somebody that they look up to, but guess what? They become greater. We're talking about entertainment, we're talking about sports. Go back to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson loved him some James Brown. That was before him.
Yep.
Now, to the point that he mirrored that guy so much, did everything. He became way bigger than what James Brown was.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, love him some Dr. J, right? Guess
Yep.
what? To the point that he became bigger. So you have to have someone that it may be sometimes that mentorship comes from directly, like, you could talk to that person one
Yeah.
on one. But nowadays, nothing that I, or you could just be
Yeah.
you learn from that person from far away.
From far, that's
See
what I
the
was gonna
actual
say. That was gonna say.
exactly.
Mentorship is not always somebody you know or
No,
somebody you
no,
talk to every day. It literally
no.
could be off of one conversation you had with this person that changed your whole thought
Your
process.
entire life.
And
Exactly.
and that alone is mentorship in itself. And that's the thing. Like people, I think sometimes people think about, oh, I'm too shy to get a mentor, or I don't want to talk to. I don't feel like they feel like if they talk to you one time, they got to talk to you forever, every day, and then in order for you to be a
No,
mentor, it's not how it works,
no.
right? Like you literally don't need to talk to nobody. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube, right?
And
Go on
find
YouTube.
whatever that you
Find
just
somebody
want to
that
do.
speaks
Exactly.
that stuff, right? Speaks some great knowledge in what you're wanting to learn about and allow him to be your mentor. And when you finally meet this person one day because you love what he's talking about, because you're going to want to go to a seminar, you're going to want to go to some,
Of course.
let him know. Like, man, you have no idea how much you've mentored me through your videos.
Thank
And
you.
now he can understand the greatness he's throwing out there too. But it's for you that you don't need to be scared to get a mentor. You don't need an actual mentor in itself, a face-to-face guy every single day. All it really takes is you wanting to learn. And if you
To
can
learn.
learn from
Exactly.
him, her, and it's again him or her, like don't be
Right.
there's women out there that are doing
No,
huge
there's
things,
listen, our
huge
mentorship
things.
is unisex. Our mentorship
Yeah,
is unisex because as far as I've learned some of the things that I've learned in life has been from a woman mentorship
a hundred
mentoring
percent.
me. And
One
some
hundred
of it
percent.
have been from the male mentoring me. So it's like, is but is the idea is find someone and mirror that person that that person has what you want
Yep.
and mirror that person to the point that you will get to the level that you are that person. And sometimes if you are a great mentee, what will happen, you will surpass your mentor.
Yep.
You're not never gonna know everything that's because you know what I'm saying. Hey, that's again, that's
Yeah.
that's karate 101. The master should never teaches you everything because now you don't
Yeah. Yeah. For
know what I'm
real.
saying?
For real.
But the master, he will teaches you everything to the point that you could surpass them. Because
Yep.
everyone that I have mentored myself throughout this the whole journey, I want them to succeed. Because
Yeah.
I want to be able to, I want to be a part of it because the most the most as far as a prize for a mentor is to be mentioned in the mentee testimony. Let me repeat that. The greatest prize for a mentor is to be mentioned in the mentee testimony. What does that mean? That person that you mentor, now that person is at the level that they want to be in their life.
Yeah.
And they're giving out the testimony because they had to go through the test before. Because without the test, you cannot have a testimony. So now they're giving the testimony. They say, you know what? Because I met Steve, man, and the little nugget that he gave me, This is how I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. This is how I'm able to have this lifestyle that I have. This is how I'm able to provide for my family. This is how I'm able to do this. So that alone to me is priceless. When you could be mentioned in somebody's testimony because of
Yeah.
what you have put into in place in them. So to me, that's what I believe, and that's what most mentors. That's what I believe that nowadays I know somebody they want to tax people, charge people all this money, crazy money. You got to have tens of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars to go to a mentorship.
That's not
That's not
mentorship,
what
man.
I'm
That's
talking about.
sales.
No, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about actually being able to mentor someone, look at that person's lifestyle, and be able to know, you know what, I could grow with this person. You
Yeah.
could help me
Yeah.
get to the next level in my life, what I want to get into, and whatever it may be, real estate, whatever that you are into nowadays, find something outside of your workplace that you could do, and you could do it to the point that it becomes yours. It becomes yours, and you can leave that passed on over to your kids. You know, the next generation, have them learn. I mean, my thing is one of the best things that you could do as a parent is to have something that you could pass on to your kids. Even though, you know, saying some people say, well, what if my kids doesn't want it? It's because you're not teaching them at an early age what you are providing to so they could see the value of it.
Yeah.
Anything that has value and they could see a value, they will take it and run with it. If
That
there's
or
no
when
value in
people,
it,
what drives me insane is when people go ahead and say, no, I built this. I'm not going to give it to them. They're going to have to earn their own. Like,
that,
man,
that is the poorest mentality ever.
is
You
it?
have never heard you have never heard of somebody that is wealthy, that is rich, to say that, you know what, I'm going to let my next generation struggle because
None
I
of them
went through
say
it.
that.
No,
It's all
because
about legacy.
that means
You know,
thank you.
when
It's
I
all
hear
about
that,
legacy.
when I hear that, I say, what? Like, let me tell you
That's
something.
just,
There in life, your parents raised you, but they
correct.
always said, I want to raise you to do better than I did.
That I did.
So they
Correct.
leave you at a plateau where now you can start and use your children to build them to a new plateau and then allow them to build to a new plateau. And then you keep on going from there. And it allows generations and generations and generations of success.
Right.
And it's not, oh, they're gonna learn on their own. Like, what kind of mentality is that? You
No.
messed up in your mind for
You
thinking that.
you messed up to the point that, because keep this in mind. If you're not, the idea is, like you said, I get to the level that I want my kids to take it over and go do something higher than I did in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
If you want them to start back from from ground up, that is the worst thing ever.
Like, what is the
None of the
purpose
other
of you
things.
doing anything right now? You might as well just
Thank
sit on
you,
the couch, don't do nothing. If that's what you live in life for,
thank you.
you lost. You
Because
lost.
because at the end of the day, man, it's all about legacy, 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 legacy. And what I love about it is that we as people need to stop thinking like that. Thinking that, you know what, since I build it, I'm going to let my kids struggle. They got to build their own. No, help them
Yeah,
get to the level
help them.
that they need to get. So now it'd be like another generation of wealth because they could do so much with each other. Because at the end of the day, guys, what are you doing everything? If you're not doing it for your family, if you're not doing what you're doing, why, you ask 100 man, why you go to work every day for? And everybody going, well, so I could pay some bills. I could do this. You know what I'm saying? But no, besides that, you got to have something else that you could do so you could grow for your family. And
Yeah,
we are living in the greatest country of the world because he provides us with opportunity, things that we could do. Other countries, guys, not too many countries that you could come and just do certain things, be your own, being your own boss.
not
Most
at all.
other countries, the government is running everything. And you just
They
have
want
to
a
be a
piece of
part of
that.
it. And you can't say, thank you. And you can't say anything about it. You just have to fall into that and just
Yeah,
be able with that government. But here in America, guys, we have the opportunity to be your own boss, to be able to start something from zero and able to become a hero later on.
yeah.
You
George,
can't, you can't, you can't beat
let me tell you something,
that.
man. Like,
Bro, we
you,
could talk all
you,
day, man.
listen, I'm definitely gonna have you back on here because I love talking to you, and
I
you really
appreciate that.
have a great message for people. And
Yes.
as a true entrepreneur, I appreciate that because it's like people, they care about themselves, but everything you're saying is about helping people as an entrepreneur and just outreach and show people like, look, man, like I'm no better than nobody. You can do the
No,
same thing. Like, stop coming up with excuses and really put yourself out there and do it, man. Like, but
yep.
George, yo, thank you for coming on my show. And
I
like,
appreciate you, my
yo,
brother.
I welcome you back anytime. All right. For
I
real, I
appreciate
welcome
that. I
you
appreciate
back.
that.
And, I really hope that people listen to this, what we were talking about, because really, like, you spit some stuff out there, like, for people to understand and just to be a part of in general. And like I said, your website is going to be on the bottom there in the QR code. So
Yes,
if
yes,
you want to talk to George and even like get a chance to, know him a little bit and see, all the great things he's doing, you know, go talk to him, go into the QR code, hit
yes,
contact, talk to him, let him see where he can put you in place. You looking for work. He always has people that work virtually all over the world. Right.
world,
So it's
exactly.
like you looking for something that you want to get into entrepreneurship and you just don't know how to start. Hit him up. Even working with him, not for him, allows you to become your own person. And that's what it's all about,
Exactly.
becoming your own person. So, you know, my BXB audience, man, like, listen, you're hearing great things from every guest we have on here. Please don't take it in vain. Take it and run with it. Allow yourself to be a sponge like an entrepreneur is and
Yes,
learn,
yes.
learn, learn, and want to do better for you and your family's lives. All right. But until next time, my audience, you're great. George, you're awesome, man. Like,
Hey, I
let's
appreciate
let's
you, my
do this
brother. I
again.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man, let's
Yes,
do
yes,
this
yes.
again. And please like, subscribe, share this with everybody out there so that we can get new entrepreneurs on this show to talk and tell you about their dreams, tell you about the things that they're doing with their lives. And maybe they will inspire you even more to want to do great. And honestly, I tell everybody, look, I get all these great entrepreneurs out here, and it's not just for you guys, it's for me too, because I love to learn. And if there's
Yes,
something
yes,
great
yes, yes.
that I find, or I get a gem off of one of these guys, it's gonna be something that I probably run with it and partner up with them somehow to, get it out there, because teamwork makes the dream work, right? So that's a
Amen.
real
Yeah.
fact. We just gotta go ahead and put it to action. So till next time, I love you guys, man. Like, keep watching.
Salute,
Join us every
salute,
week.
salute,
Join us every
salute.
time we have a show. We're out here. Entrepreneurs, the entrepreneur network it's live. We're real. This is something that we're gonna come back stronger every single episode and give you some more knowledge for you. All right. But until next time, it was great. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Salute. Yes, sir.